Hi, welcome to Creating and Retaining an Engaging Membership Program. Before I get started, I want to thank craft beer professionals for having me speak today and for the awesome impact they've had in the industry by providing an ongoing collection of free content. I also want to thank the sponsors of this conference, Arrived, River Drive Cooperage, and White Labs. My name is Amy Martin, and I'm the Marketing Manager and Membership Coordinator at Stormcloud Brewing Company. I also run our beer education program. I'm a beer journalist, a member of the North American Guild of Beer Writers. I serve on the governing committee of the American Homebrewers Association and the DEI subcommittee of the Michigan Brewers Guild. So us Michiganders, we like to use our hands to show where we're from. So you'll see on this hand map that we are located in the northwest of the Lower Peninsula. We're right on the lake in the harbor town of Frankfort. We get a lot of tourists coming up from Detroit and Chicago. So a little bit more about Stormcloud so you can see where I'm coming from. We opened in 2013. We're a Belgian-inspired brewery. We have two locations, a pub with a full kitchen and a production brewery with a tap room. We have a 20-barrel system as well as a 1-barrel pilot system. We distribute to 55 counties in Michigan, and we're a big tourist town, whether that be people coming in the summer for the beach or in the winter for skiing and snowmobiling. Throughout this presentation, you'll hear me reference our cloud spotters. Our cloud spotters are simply just what we call our members. And we don't have a mug club, but it's our membership program. So now I want to hear a little bit about you, the people who are watching. If you have a second, throw your name in the chat, where you're from, what company you're from, and if you currently have a membership program. I'll give you about 30 seconds to do that, and I'll check in on the comments. All right, awesome. So we're going to start off with why have a membership program? Memberships are an extra source of revenue. They ensure returning customers. And what I think is most important is they reward your frequent and often local customers. Today, I'm going to be talking about 4 main elements of a membership program: the program framework, membership perks, member exclusive events, and communication. So we're going to dive in with program framework. The first thing you want to do when developing a membership program is determining the type of membership. Founding, annual, or lifetime seem to be the most common. Founding memberships are great because they create revenue when you're first getting started. They allow people to feel invested in the company and thus will be returning customers as well as spread the word. These people are truly your ambassadors. If you offer other types of memberships, I highly recommend that the founding members get extra special perks above and beyond what the other people get. Annual memberships provide a dependable revenue at a certain time each year. People feel less scared to commit than to a lifetime membership, which can be pricier. And if limiting memberships, it allows a chance for new folks to join in each year. Then there are lifetime memberships. Often these are offered all of the time. It does make it harder to track revenue gain versus loss, but the title makes people feel extra special and invested. When we were first opening, we offered founding memberships for $1,500 for a couple. Couples didn't necessarily have to be romantic couples, but just for a pair of people. We now offer annual memberships for $55 a year. You'll see in this photo our head brewer and co-owner Brian making a funny face, and myself at one of our renewal events. I think renewal events are great because it really gives you that important face time with your members. We make our memberships available both online and in person. So the next step of the program framework is determining exclusivity. Basically, that's, do you want to limit it or do you want it to be unlimited? At Stormcloud, we put a 200 cap per person, 200 cap on how many people can be in our club. As part of that, we allow the current members to renew before we offer it out to the public. The next thing in your program framework is you want to determine the price point. To do this, discuss goals with ownership and amongst the leadership team. Decide whether it's going to be a marketing spend or a revenue generator. Throughout the years, definitely track your ROI or return on interest. And research local laws. One thing being from Michigan that I was not aware of until recently is that in some states, in some communities, it's illegal to have a mug club, or you can't offer discounts on certain beers. So definitely look into that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is perks of mug club memberships. So common perks you'll see around include special glasses or personalized mugs. At Stormcloud, we don't do personalized mugs, but we do serve in special glasses. You'll find discounts on draft, to-go, and packaged beer, discounts on food and merchandise, some sort of a reward system, and gifts throughout the year. My favorite thing also is the member exclusive events. So here's a list of the things that we do at Stormcloud, the perks we offer. I'm not going to read all of them, but one thing that is somewhat newer the past couple years is that Cloud Spotters receive a $10 credit for every $100 spent on draft beer. Unfortunately, our POS system tracks that for us with the card that we swipe. We do a lot of discounts on things, as you can see. We also give each member a free growler each year. And the way we do that is we send a postcard out to them instead of just having them get it with their renewal. And the reason behind this is because who doesn't love snail mail? But additionally, it ensures that they come back at least another time. Let's see, anything else? Oh, another thing that I think is very cool is that we send out a members only Cloud Spotter newsletter. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So here are some of the things that we add as additional perks. At events, we like to hand out free swag. So buttons, cups, frisbees. Things don't always have to be free though. We've also designed Cloud Spotter t-shirts that are exclusive. Of course, only Cloud Spotters can buy them, and they're willing to pay for them. So just keep in mind, you don't have to necessarily give everything away. So before we continue, I want to give you some samples of other perks that other breweries do. This first one is Five Shores Brewing, which is actually right up the road from us in Beulah, Michigan. They do a lifetime membership. They charge $75 per person or $135 per couple. And once again, that doesn't necessarily mean a romantic couple. When you first get their membership, you get some cool swag, a members only beer glass that you take home with you. So you don't drink out of a special glass at the tap room, but you do get a special glass to enjoy at home. And you get a choice of a hat or t-shirt. Again, some pretty common discounts you'll see out there. Another thing that I really appreciate that Five Shores does is they have designated a special day as Members Day. So they chose Monday, so Membership Monday. I love that alliteration. And the reason is because it's one of the slower days. So it does help raise sales and bring more people in. Here's another example of people that offer a lifetime membership. Urban Rest Brewing Company offers both annual and lifetime. Again, a lot of the similar perks that we've already listed. They do get a ceramic mug if you are a lifetime member. I wanted to throw them in because compared to Five Shores, the pricing is very different. For an annual membership, you'll be paying $80. For a lifetime membership, it's $350. And if you're a couple, it's $600. So again, you want to compare your pricing to places in geographically close to you. And you want to look around and see what other people are charging. I think that Urban Rest makes sense if they plan on being around for a long time to charge a lot. Here's another brewery called Witch's Hat. Their annual Mug Club membership price is $50. A lot of similar perks that we've seen. They don't necessarily give everyone a specialty mug, but they do have the option to get a hand-blown glass mug for an additional price. And I think that's pretty cool. Here's Fillmore 13 Brewery. They, again, give away a free glass. I don't think you get one that you drink in the house, though. So I think that's one thing I want to point out. A lot of people call their memberships mug club memberships, but they don't necessarily have to be mugs. A couple things I wanted to highlight here are that they give their members a discount on their birthday dinner, which I think makes people feel very special. And it looks like they also have an end of the year members only party with complimentary food and discounted beer. Then there's founders, who it's definitely a mug in the Mug Club membership. Currently, they offer two types of memberships: an individual membership that renews annually for $60, plus $8 if you want a custom mug, or a corporate membership, which is where, as a company, you can choose to buy a certain number of mugs to have at the brewery. In this case, what happens with the mugs is, say you buy 8 memberships. At any point, 8 people from your company can come in and use those mugs. All right, now we're going to talk about my favorite thing, member exclusive events. I think it's very important to be doing these throughout the year. I think it makes people feel special and included. My biggest advice for member exclusive events are: get creative, hand out party favors, keep in mind that it can be inexpensive and simple, and serve snacks or meals. A couple event examples are holiday parties, costume contests, movie screenings, a sip and chat with the brewers, brewery tours, and special bottle releases. So here I'm going to give you a couple of examples of events that we've done in the past. This one was a summer soiree where we shut down the tap room to everybody except for our Cloud Spotter members. We had gifts that we were giving away, we had live music, and we had a food truck, of which they got a discount on. Another one of our annual events is our Cloud Spotter Golf Scramble. This is a great time to gather people and enjoy the great outdoors, and of course, the great sport of golf. In addition to regular golf events and prizes, we also gave out prizes for those that could hit the ball closest to the head. My job during this event is wonderful. I drive around in a golf cart and give people free beer, which makes them very, very happy. On the left-hand side, you'll see an example of giving a brewery tour. On the right was a sip and chat we did with our brewers. It was awesome because it really taught some of our members about sensory programs, and we would go through different beers, talk about them, and allow our members to ask questions. All right, this one was one of my favorites. We like to collaborate with the restored Art Deco movie theater right next door to our pub. For this one, it was Halloween, as you might be able to tell. We had a photo booth station. We had a costume contest. We encouraged our members to wear costumes. We gave away free beer and popcorn, and we ended up showing the Alfred Hitchcock film Psycho, classic. Here's another example of a time that we partnered with the movie theater. We were showing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but before that, we had a holiday mixer. This involved cookie decorating, a build-your-own hot cocoa bar, North Pole cornhole for prizes, which I just think is a hilarious name, free food, and we encouraged them to wear our pajamas. So it was like a movie pajama party. Another classic holiday event that we do is our ugly sweater contest. We usually give away awards for things, different categories. For example, ugliest, homemade, most creative, and naughtiest. We also have live music, and we often have a specialty beer tapping, whether it's a small batch that's made just for our members or just one that the members get to try first. Here's an example of a specialty bottle release. The Lake House Ales Project is our sour program. This was the very first time that we released the bottles from our sour program, and the gentleman in the photo was the very first member who got to purchase them. This was a great event. We had beers on tap so that they could try them, including the beers that were in the bottles. And they just expressed so much how excited they were that they got to be the first to try it. One example here of just the small favor we gave out was cheap little stickers. People ate those up. So keep in mind that even the small little things people like. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is membership communication. This includes in-person, social media, and emails and newsletters. So for in-person communication, there's 3 things that I think are utmost important. As a membership coordinator, myself, being out there in the community, recognizing cloud spotters, learning their names, and going up to tables saying hi is so important. Additionally, having the ownership or leadership team being around is awesome. Members love shaking hands and being recognized by the uppers in the company. One great way to implement this is to have owners attend the members-only events. Lastly, for in-person communication, it's important to train your servers and staff on the specific expectations of how you treat your members. We have them learn what the perks are, etc., etc. We have some regulars that, in fact, get very grumpy if our servers don't remember that they're cloud spotters and don't already have their beer poured in their cloud spotter mug or their cloud spotter glass, their favorite beer, and have it at the table right when they sit down. Of course, we have 200 members. It is not possible for our servers to memorize everyone, but for some of those locals, having that memory does make a difference. Another form of membership communication is newsletters. The first thing you're going to want to do is choose an email host if you don't already have one for your company newsletters. Some newsletter content that I find to be most important is brewery news, beer education, exclusive discounts, and upcoming events. So here are some sample email hosts that are out there: Constant Contact, MailChimp, HubSpot, and Sendinblue. When deciding what email host to use, you really need to make it personal to your brewery. A lot of them offer free options depending on how big your audience size is. Some come with really great free templates that are easy to just input things and use. But if you're more creative and want to get more savvy with it, there's other ones that you can completely personalize and start from scratch. That's kind of more what I like to do. Our email host is MailChimp, and I really enjoy it and do recommend it. So I'm going to give you some examples of content that I include in newsletters. I tend to start it off at the very top with a quote. The quote you see here says, "You need only 2 hands and no silverware. 1 hand for your beer and the other for your cookie." David Monroe. Not only is that just a funny quote about beer, but it was in the newsletter where we talked about pairing beer and cookies. The next part that I like to include is kind of a letter from the editor, except of course it's a letter from me, the membership coordinator. The reason I do this is because people like to hear updates. We have, I would say, about half of our cloud spotters are seasonal out-of-towners. So sharing with them kind of what's happening in Frankfurt is something that I think they appreciate. Additionally, I walk through kind of what is happening in that email. I also like to include a picture of myself, not just because I think I look cute, but actually because I think it's important that cloud spotters recognize me and are able to spot me in public and feel comfortable coming up to me and asking questions. The next section I like to do is called Beer on the Brain. Beer on the Brain is a beer education piece. So you'll see on this one, this is the beer pairing of Christmas cookies with all of our beer. This is not the first beer pairing we've done. I've done beer pairing with Thanksgiving food, beer pairing with ice cream. It's very fun to not just give people direct pairings, but also walk them through how they can come up with pairings on their own. In addition to doing beer education on pairings, I like to do it on ingredients. An example is on the left is about water. The water chemistry is incredibly complex when it comes to brewing. I tried to simplify it a little bit, yet emphasize how important water is of the 4 ingredients. I think sometimes it gets left on the wayside, and I know that a lot of our cloud spotters really learned a lot and commented about it. And in addition to water, another ingredient I've covered was Kvike. A couple years ago when it was really starting to take off, we had quite a few Kvike beers on our menu. I guess we still do have quite a few beers. And people didn't really know what that meant. They would just see it on the side. And it was kind of hard to research it at the time. So I just put out a simple ingredient explanation about that. Another category that I like to do when it comes to beer on the brain is beer styles. This can be really simple. The best time that I choose to do beer styles are if we have a brand new one going on. So for example, on the left, the beer on the brain was about the Schwartz beer because we had just released a Schwartz beer. When it comes to talking about beer styles, I like to talk about, the BJCP or the GABF style stats. And then also the history of the style. And of course, then I dive into talking about what that style is like at Stormcloud. After beer on the brain, I like to include news from the brewery. Sometimes this can just be short and sweet, but sometimes I get one of the brewers to write out a list of new things that are happening, whether that be recipe writing that's happening, what's happening in the fermentation tanks, plans for collaborations, and other awesome things. A lot of this stuff is things that we're not quite advertising to the public yet, so it makes our members feel like they have special insider information. And last but not least, we include at least one coupon, but sometimes 2. For example, this one was for the holidays, so they got a bonus. One thing I like to do is I put our coupons at the very bottom of our newsletter. They know they're there. They're definitely going to use them, but it forces them to scroll all the way through the newsletter, maybe pause and read some of it. So I've been asked what we did with the COVID-19 shutdown to still make our members feel special. Hopefully we never have a shutdown that significant again, but I am just going to share with you some of the ideas we had. We did a lot of outdoor events. We made very clear the safety guidelines that we were doing. We offered special beer release pickup, drive-through, or delivery options for our members. We connected virtually, whether that be a happy hour or some different videos and education things. And because the shutdown lasted for several months, we extended annual memberships to make up for the time that we were closed. Here's one example of an outdoor event we did. It was September in Michigan, which can be hit or miss when it comes to weather. It was in the 30s, but people showed up, came out, and were super excited for it. We threw up a screen and had a projector, and we inspired people or asked people to bring their lawn chairs. And people came bundled up, wearing blankets, their winter coats, and really enjoyed it. I think on that one, we were showing Rear Window, another Alfred Hitchcock film. Here's another example of a way that we included our members during the COVID-19 shutdown. In addition to happy hour, during American Craft Beer Week, we had different members each day introduce their favorite beer, share some facts about it, why they love it, and then do a cheers. So to review, why have a membership program? Because memberships are an extra source of revenue. They ensure returning customers, and of course, they reward your frequent and often local customers. My name is Amy Martin. You can find me on Instagram at polkadots_pints. And please feel free to email me, amy@stormcloudbrewing.com. At this point, I will be willing to answer any questions. If you don't think of any right now, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I'm happy to answer. Oh, I see someone from Snapshot Brewing in Seattle, not only has a mug club, but also a doggy mug club. I'd be very curious to hear more about that because that sounds adorable and probably something that'd be very popular. See, I'll give a couple more seconds for questions. If you don't have any, that's great. I really, again, want to say thank you to craft beer professionals for allowing me this opportunity to speak. And again, thank you to our sponsors. It looks like there are no more questions. So have a great day and cheers.